This week we're helping a young couple make over their patio for both fun and function.
It's a big open space that just needs a little help.
I've been helping homeowners improve their homes for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help.
There you go.
Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. This house belongs to Rich and Schaefer Jones, who share it with their son, Clem, their daughter, Ella, and their dog, Pearl.
We have lived here for almost 2 years. It's nice and quiet. There's not a lot of traffic.
Yes, big lot. The kids love to play ball, jump on the trampoline. We're always outside, and we just like to entertain. That's one of the main reasons we even moved out to this area, was because it's so spacious and the yard. A lot of people don't like to cut grass and work outside, but I live for it.
I would love for the patio to have just a nice, warm, cozy feeling where we can just all go out there and relax and you feel welcomed. So this is our patio area.
Oh, a lot of space, a lot more space than it seemed like in the pictures,
Yes,
which is great.
It's a big open space that just needs a little help.
One thing I like about a patio like this, it's on a brand new house. It's a clean slate,
Right.
just a nice canvas to work with.
It's got so much potential, like it could be so much more.
Well, I see that you have your priorities straight. You got your television.
We got the television, we put it up.
The week that
the
we
week
moved
we
in.
moved in. And then I think the next week we came back off with an extension. This is
Oh, okay,
something
so
we
y'all
did.
added that.
Yes,
so that's- oh,
yeah,
okay.
so
Wow.
this is new, along with the ceiling fans, and that's about as far as we got.
Yeah.
2 months later, our second child, Ella, came along, and that about wrapped up the projects back there.
Whenever we're out here in the afternoon, the sun is just really like beating down on this area.
Oh, yeah.
And so
yeah.
it just gets really bright and really hot. And so it almost makes it to where the most enjoyable time is not enjoyable anymore.
I see a lot of kids' toys out here, so apparently you're sharing the space here.
Yes,
Yes.
we love having our kids' stuff out here, but we also want to be able to enjoy it ourselves and have a place that we can sit and entertain our friends.
Yeah, we just need a solution for all those kids' toys.
Those kids, they make such a mess. Of course, if you're doing any entertaining, it's nice to have some kind of table or some kind of
Yes.
flat surface
Gotta
out
eat.
there.
Yeah, gotta
Something that's
eat.
a little more permanent
Yeah.
than like a folding table.
Right, exactly, yeah. Maybe we can incorporate something that'll accomplish that, as well as a way to tuck away
Yeah,
some
some
of
kind
the...
of storage to hide the toys, but
Yeah.
keep them
Yeah.
accessible.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we'd have to do something to help out the grill master over here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
He
big
needs a
plus.
little table or something over there.
There's not a ball game on that doesn't need a good hamburger or a good hot dog to go with it.
So we'll create a work surface for Rich's grilling tools, surfaces for seating and serving that double as toy storage, and find an attractive way to screen the late afternoon sun. When we return to start work, we show Rich and Schaefer our ideas for their patio. You're not going to laugh at my drawing, are you? I didn't spend a lot of time
When
on
you
this.
say it like that.
But, okay, so if you look at this,
Dad, your drawing wasn't half bad.
well, a lot of people wanted me to go that direction in my career.
An illustrator?
Yeah, but I chose not to.
Oh, our loss.
The world's lost. I found this really nice cedar that we can use. So it's
yeah.
resistant to bugs, resistant
Yeah.
to weather. And then for the grill master over here,
That's definitely
you know, if you think about it, building these 3 different pieces are solving a lot of problems, and I really think it'll look really nice in contrast to the brick and so forth.
Yeah, and then also giving them a place to store the kids' toys. We're
That's
knocking
right.
out a lot of stones with one piece of one tree.
Wow. I think that might solve most of the problems you're talking
Yes,
about.
Yes.
I like those ideas.
All right. Now we have to build all of it.
That grill mat, you can just haul it straight to the dumpster. It just showed up at our house, and it was an accessory that Rich does not want to get rid of, that I'm not very fond of.
Oh, we're not gonna throw it away. I did stash it away because I know she's gonna try to throw it away.
But the grill mat isn't the only thing Rich isn't willing to part with.
That pooper scooper's his favorite gift of all time.
This was the Father's Day present.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. Super Scooper. The gift that just keeps on giving.
I love everything about my new barbecue setup. It's right off the kitchen and tucked in here at the end of the deck. However, there's not a lot of counter space or room to set up a table, but I've been utilizing this little handrail section at the end of the deck. On the underside of the railing, I put in 2 vinyl-coated cup hooks. It's a perfect area to hang some barbecue tools. They're right there, out of the way, but readily available when you need them. And the railing on top, I've been using for setting up condiments, just standing there. But the space is really narrow and it's really not much use. So I thought I'd convert that into a counter by making a simple shelf. This is just a wide board, and on the underside you can see I screwed on 2 pieces of narrow wood to form this cleat that has an L-shaped notch. And that notch fits right onto the back of the handrail. Then you just tap it and it locks right in place. Nice and sturdy. Plenty of room, look at that, for a big platter or plates of food. And the great thing is, at the end of the day, when you're all done barbecuing, just pop it off and store it away.
We're just starting a functional patio makeover for Rich and Schaefer, and the first project is a folding grill table.
So I would suggest maybe going 18 with the width of it. That would be that wide.
That's nice.
It's a good,
You like that?
good size.
Big plate of ribs, well, you know, all kind of hamburger steaks, everything. So, so there you go, 48
By 18.
18. And we're here if you need us.
Okay. Well, you know what happens when you start talking about food around me?
You get really focused on the food.
Yeah.
And forget everything else that's
productivity
going on.
goes way down.
I noticed
so.
that.
Where are the directions?
No directions needed. Yeah, that was my mistake. Won't happen again.
That's right. Nothing like cedar in the morning.
That's it.
So what we're doing is cutting 3 of our 1x6 pieces of cedar to 48 inches, then cutting 2 shorter pieces to attach them all together using 1 1/4 inch deck screws.
She just like precisely measured those screws to make sure they were the exact length that she needed. And she made a comment like, I hope these don't go through and like ruin this whole thing.
All right, your turn.
Ah, it went through.
Did it?
No, I'm just kidding.
Ah! She must have picked up Dad's joke book. That's not cool, Schaefer, not cool. You want to keep it level.
Okay.
So if you see this arrow, that shows you where the nail is coming out.
Yeah, that's scary. 'Cause if she can use a nail gun, she can probably use a pistol.
Feeling brave?
Oh yeah, I got this.
Rich!
I just don't know how good her aim is.
Don't shoot my fingers. I knew her hand wasn't close enough to get shot, but her reaction could have told me otherwise.
You never know, working night shift, come home early, like a Barney out there.
Oh, Lord.
After adding the edge banding to hide the wood grain and stabilize the shelf, Schaefer and I tried to determine the height of the shelf.
Rich, is this good?
Yeah. As long as Pearl can't get it. Well, if we're cooking T-bone steaks and I got 4 of them, but I also have a English pointer named Pearl, those 4 T-bone steaks gonna turn into 3 if that table's 3 foot instead of 5 foot up.
All right, moment of truth. Ta-da!
So I see Chelsea collecting sawdust. I actually thought that she was doing a joke.
Instead of using store-bought wood putty, we're making our own wood putty, which is an old carpenter's trick. We're mixing sawdust with wood glue. It's gonna give us a better color match since we're using this lovely cedar wood. Awesome.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rich and I are working on the cabinet for the other end of the patio. I can't tell you how many times I've used quart cans or gallon cans to draw a little radius like that, so
Right.
the quart can come in really, really handy.
It's the perfect size.
So after I mark the radius for each cabinet leg, Rich attempts to cut them out.
You know, I was a little nervous. Went a little too wide.
One job.
One
You had
job.
One job.
Golly. When you got 3 cameras in your face, you're trying to do a jig, and then you're going cross grain on cedar.
Whoa.
Whoa. You know, that's when it gets a little hairy. You're like, oh, let's just don't mess this up, don't mess this up.
So that's how you do it.
That's gonna be an F. But I know if it's not done exactly right, then that's what I got him for.
We join 2 of these pieces to form each leg for the cabinet. Then we join the legs to each other with a framework of 2x2s. Before we cut plywood for the back and bottom.
So Dad, what's happening? Did you forget to put a piece in before you put the back on?
You saw that? I got my, let's say my sequence was off.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should have put that in a little bit earlier than I tried. Nope.
I like that they're having a few issues while Chelsea and I are done with our project.
It's one hammer strike away and problem solved.
While Rich and I are hard at work on the cabinet, Chelsea has disappeared into her phone.
One of the most important steps in home improvement is buying the right materials. So I'm ordering for online pickup at Home Depot, Dad. You're gonna be picking it up. All right, I bought way too many options, so now we have to narrow it down.
All right, I'm not very good with decisions, so. So if I were to take my 2 favorites of each color.
A? Or B?
I think black.
By the end of the day, both the grill table and cabinet are complete. Overnight, Rich cleans the patio surface to prepare it for staining.
A barrel bolt is a very common way to secure a gate or even a shed door, and they're perfect for securing those. But over time, who has not seen a gate or a shed door start to sag? And when that happens, you can't secure it, and 9 times out of 10, you're just going to move the receiving side up or down to make it latch again. Well, Adjustco has come up with a solution to that problem. You install it, and even if the gate or the shed door starts to sag, you can secure it. And what happens is this piece can move up or down. Now, this is what it looks like in the packaging, and you can see that piece can shift back and forth. So if the gate or the shed door ever starts to sag, it will catch it every time. So you can install this one time and it will adjust on its own.
Early on day 2, Rich and I are busy building the framework for the patio window seat, while Chelsea and Schaefer start sealing the cabinet we built earlier.
This is the varnish that we're going to use. It's made for boats. So you can imagine it's perfect for something that's going to be exposed to a lot of sun and moisture.
Yeah.
But what's cool about this versus traditional polyurethanes is that we can recoat it almost immediately. So we're not having to wait 8 hours
Oh, that's
and
nice.
sand in between coats.
Get it all done today.
That's right.
I love the shininess and how it just really brings out the color of the wood.
The grain is so pretty and the coloring of the wood is so pretty. You want to keep that as natural as possible. Keep that natural cedar wood.
Well, I knew once we finished one side of the window seat that the rest of it would go really, really quick. So it's all the same size,
Right.
and I can make that nail gun sing.
So I guess since y'all live in a new house, you probably don't have a whole lot of home improvement projects on your list.
Well, we do actually. One of our goals for 2020 was to do a project a month. We wanted to do things to the house, even though it was brand new, like just to make it ours.
So this is this month's project.
Yes.
What's next month's project?
Next month's project is the garage. And it could be easy stuff like buying drapes or big stuff like redoing our patio. But it gives us something to save towards and work towards each month. Maybe we'll feel a little more confident in ourselves after this.
As soon as Rich and I finish the window seat, we move it into the garage for finishing, before we begin marking the patio for scoring. Well, what we're about to do is to take a diamond tip blade on a regular circular saw and cut just a small score joint here. Now, the main reason we're doing it is really for decorative purposes. That way, it kind of divides the patio up into 4 different areas. But if you have score joints, then you probably won't have all of these surface cracks. The new concrete that they put down, no cracks whatsoever because it has that nice control joint right down the middle, because concrete will crack if it doesn't have some way of expansion and contraction. So we're about to take the saw, cut this, put the stain in, and the whole thing's going to look a lot better. You know, on almost every project that we do, there's a moment of panic.
Took my breath away at first. It was not really the color that I was expecting, that I picked out. It's kind of blue.
Woo, Schaefer.
I can understand why Schaefer would be a little concerned that this is a lot bluer than she was anticipating.
You know what, this could kind of work out in my favor. Everybody's so focused on the grill mat. Well, you got a navy blue patio. All we need is a little orange AU dead in the middle of it and problem solved.
No, that was never gonna happen.
It's not uncommon for dark paints and stains to look a little bluer in the can than they will be when they dry.
But once it got on there and it started drying, it got to be the color that we were expecting more.
They have two separate patios that were poured at separate times, and staining them all one color just really ties them in together and makes this project look finished.
Next, we're ready to add some life to this patio with a landscape plan that Chelsea's been working on.
The idea with the landscaping is to frame the patio without making it feel closed off from the yard. So the first thing we're gonna do is mark where the beds will be so that we can get rid of the grass.
So what are we doing with this grass? It's not coming up very good, but we're getting a few pieces.
Oh no, we're keeping it.
Is that right?
Rich wants to plant it somewhere else. Baby it back to health.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Speaking of Rich, he is really into mowing grass, isn't he?
Listen, he loves this new toy. He's waiting for the grass to grow. And the second you say yard work, he's jumping on the lawnmower.
My favorite feature is the height adjustments on the blade. Instead of your normal mower going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the Exmark, you can go in increments of 1/4 inch, 2 1/4, 3 1/2.
So he didn't think yard work is this, huh?
No labor.
Oh. Well, I got to go check this thing out. I'll be right back.
Can anyone else guess what's about to happen next?
I knew it was just a matter of time when Danny saw me on the mower and Danny was holding the shovel. It wouldn't be long before he walked over there. But if I'm gonna let anybody cut my grass and I'm gonna push the shovel, it's gonna be Danny.
He took away your toy?
Took away my toy.
I don't think he realized what was on the other end of that deal.
I know it. It worked out good for me.
I see. Rich and Schaefer's patio gets so much sunlight during the afternoons, and they really wanted some shade. I thought we could hang up a curtain, but instead of just hanging curtains, I thought we would dye some drop cloth so that we get an inexpensive curtain treatment that they can open and close as the sun sets and rises.
The patio on Rich and Schaefer's brand new home had plenty of space, but not very much character. There was absolutely no storage space for the kids' toys, only a few seating options, and no surfaces for entertaining. Now, their patio has a completely different feel. The kids' toys are stored away out of sight, and the pieces that house them provide the family with plenty of comfortable seating and a serving area for entertaining. The folding grill table is the very definition of functionality, but it's also attractive. The deep clear coat finish on its cedar top, the window seat, and the buffet cabinet all add character that was missing in this space. The shade curtains are also functional, but combined with the concrete stain on the patio and the landscaping to frame it, they make this area feel more like a planned room than an outside afterthought. And we did it all for about $1,000 in materials.
I think it's better than what we could have imagined.
I mean, yeah, it exceeds expectations.
Yeah, we'll be able to enjoy dinners out there and
Crawfish bowls.
birthday parties. We'll have plenty of space for guests. It's extremely functional. I love that we have the kids' toys right there where we can easily get them, but then we don't have to look at
You
them
don't have to
all
see
the
'em
time.
all the time, yeah.
I definitely think being hands-on this week, it gave us more confidence to tackle the rest of our projects that we have for the rest of the year. Get busy.
A lot of work ahead of me.
You know, it is really so neat when you see a young couple like this so excited about their very first new home. Now, you would think with a new home, there's no projects to do, right? Well, what happens is it changes from repair projects to real home improvements, and I hope we've been able to inspire you, whether you live in a new home or an existing home, to take on a few projects. It's a lot easier than you might think, and that's what we want to do each week here on Today's Homeowner, is to provide you that inspiration and a little bit of know-how. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner.
Next week, we're tackling a project at Chelsea's house to help her keep her home workshop nice and organized.
Power.
Need some power?
Oh, great.
Cheers.
That's hilarious, Dad.